Hey everybody, how's it going? I thought I would just do a little update video of how I've been dealing with quarantining, social distancing, etc. because whenever I did my last video, it was like within the first few days of knowing this was happening, and obviously some time has gone by since then. I really thought that being home I'd like have a ton of time to do videos, and the thing is I do have time, but social distancing, being by myself for so long, doesn't exactly lead towards inspiration or even happiness enough to pick up and share. And so, typically whenever I'm at my happiness, that's when I'm sharing the most with people. That's when I'm posting on Instagram. That's when I'm talking and enjoying other people. And right now I've just been really sad. So I thought I'd do like a little update and talk to you guys, see how you're doing, because we're all experiencing this in certain ways and different ways. And who knows what your experience has been like. I teach, so that's been, largely affecting some of it. So I'm just going to start there. So whenever I first found out that we were going to move online, it was with the idea that it would only be for 2 weeks. And I kind of thought that it would go longer than that, but I didn't know how I'd feel about it. I guess I thought maybe I could still go into the office or something. And at first that is how it was. So I think whenever we first knew we were going to go online, it was just a lot of adrenaline. Like, I had my class planned to meet in person, and I suddenly need to create a lot of stuff for online instruction, and I just dove headfirst into it. I was very productive, got a lot of stuff done, thank goodness, honestly. And like the first 2 weeks, I was really on top of like responding to students, giving feedback, and then the next week and a half after that, that was probably like the first 2 weeks of being online. So we'll say through like almost the end of March. And then right at the end of March going into April, wow, depression set in badly. I stopped sleeping. I still am having trouble sleeping. I had one night where I was up and I could not fall asleep. I was up at 5 a.m., 6 a.m. And at one point I just started like bawling. Like, I cannot fall asleep. I'm exhausted. And my anxiety is just keeping me completely awake. And I had anxiety prior to this. I've been actually on anxiety medication since I was 22. And but that anxiety medication is to help me deal with the like mundane everyday life anxiety I face, not pandemic anxiety that I face. I'm gonna tap this so you can get the nice background. So I'm still struggling. I've been grinding my teeth. This tooth is much shorter than this tooth now. I got a mouth guard. I need to actually do it. But for me, depression isn't so much internal hatred or thinking my life's not worth living or anything like that. Thank goodness. To me, depression is apathy, intense sadness, feeling the need to disconnect, wasting a lot of time, laying in bed all day, not wanting to get up to shower or anything, just existing, trying to distract myself, and lack of ability to focus on anything. And so that was really a struggle. I mean, I think I spent 3 days in a row in bed, started getting really emotional, and then I couldn't take it anymore. I called my mom and I was like, I'm coming over. I wanted to clean up my car because I'm a junky person. I had a lot of junk in there. And I was like, I'll clean up my car in the driveway. I just need to be there. I was like, I don't have to come in. I just need to be there. And so I went over there, and I had been in my apartment for, at that point, like 3 weeks by myself. So when I got there, she's like, just come in. It's fine. You've been by yourself. We stayed away from each other. But I stayed there for probably 2 hours just talking to her. And I really needed it. I think, we need to be safe and practice social distancing. I might like cry right now. But not being with my mother for that long and knowing she was right there. I mean, even just going there and seeing that her life is pretty normal and she has people around her made me feel better. And I have to remember that, like, even though we need to be social distancing, like, she is there. I just am trying not to go over there, like, it was getting to that point where I just felt like I was never going to see her again. And if this thing goes on until XYZ, I'm never going to be around her. And I was devastated. So getting to see her was good. My dad had some face masks. He gave me one because I hadn't gone grocery shopping or anything. And it brought a sense of normalcy, and it just was needed time with each other. Immediately, my mood shifted. So immediately, I felt well enough the next day to shower, to get ready, to dry my hair, to put makeup on, to go to the grocery store. The grocery store is a really weird experience. Half the people wearing face masks, half of them weren't. Most people were very cognizant of one another. And there's only one time I was at the bakery looking at something, and the woman who was working in the bakery was helping me. And these people came up like right behind me, and she could just tell I got like really on edge. And she was about to tell them to back up, and then they left, thank goodness. But for the most part, things have been normal. I try to do Instacart sometimes, but it's been so booked. Anyways, that's neither here nor there. I felt well enough to go grocery shopping. And so that was good. I also did go see my sister. And here's the thing. If you want to yell at me for not social distancing, I hear you. I hear you. But my sister and I talked about it, and we decided that we wanted to see each other. And we did. And it's so weird because I'll feel guilt. Like, I had nightmares that night of going to a coffee shop and sitting shoulder to shoulder with people, and like knowing that I was putting people at risk, or they were putting me at risk or whatever. So I'm like having these nightmares, and yet I need some people time. Like, I can't be by myself for months on end. It's just not going to be okay. And so we had Saturday before Easter together, and I didn't I didn't really like get all up in my nephew. I let him play, but just being around him was good. And again, like, it's like Katie has her and her husband and my nephew and her in-laws live right next door. So they've all been like interacting with each other. They have all these people they're interacting with. And it's sometimes like my mom is with 2 other people. So like I'm going to these people's house and they're used to interacting with people every day. And I'm like, I have been alone. And it was really hard. Really hard. It's one thing if like you have your own weekend you want away to yourself. It's another thing if you have to stay away. So anyways, that was good. And now I'm back to being at my apartment. My idea basically is, okay, now I've seen some people. Now I need to stay home and make sure nothing was happening there. And that's what I'll do. So now I'm back home and giving myself, time to make sure I don't develop any symptoms. They've all been kind of staying at their houses, so hopefully we're fine. It hasn't hit North Carolina really bad yet, but I know it will, and I know I'm going to have to go longer amounts of time without seeing people. And it doesn't, again, exactly make me want to produce content. I feel sad. So, some things I've been doing to pass the time. 1, Survivor. It's a good show. Right now, their season is like all winners coming back, and it has been very fascinating to watch. So that's my Wednesday night thing. I've also been deep diving into Bravo, watching Below Deck, Sailing Yacht, Summer House, which I've never gotten into before, but now I'm into. Real Housewives of New York. I don't really watch the other stuff. I watch Top Chef. So I've watched more TV in the past couple weeks than I've ever watched. For some reason, I have not been watching YouTube. It's been like, I go look at the YouTube list and I just can't. I don't know. I don't know. That's weird, right? But I can't watch YouTube videos. Um, and then I've been on my phone a ton. You know, the like notifications of how long you've been using your cell phone. Not good for me. Uh, I've been doing this like coloring by number app called Color Happy or Happy Color or something like that. I've done a lot of coloring. Okay, been listening to this podcast called Crime Junkie about serial killers, unsolved murders, etc. Pretty dark. Been listening a lot to that. Um, I have been listening to Harry Potter audiobooks. I do that normally, but you know, still doing that. I am feeling better this week. I'm hoping that my mood will continue to shift and I will feel better about being out, talking to people. I've been doing a lot of Zoom meetings with work, but also met up with some girls that do like plus size content on Instagram. We did a meetup. Been talking to my friends a lot on FaceTime. And so I'm going to keep doing those things and hoping that I can dig myself out of this rut of loneliness and get back to where I feel confident sharing myself with people again. Not confident, but I don't want to come on here and just be like sad, 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 sad. And honestly, when I'm sad, I don't want to talk to anybody. So I want to do this as it feels naturally to me to want to do it, and hopefully that will continue. Sorry, I'm shaking the camera. I have been doing lots of walks with Lola, which has been nice. So this is how Lola spends her quarantine. She sits, messes up my pillow, you know. Who wanted a new couch that would look like a new couch? And she sits here, she looks out the window, she sees there's anybody walking, you know, multiple times a day. There's some doggies coming, so. Oh. And if there's something, oh my goodness, Lola. What's going on out there? What's going on out there? Oh. She gets a little grumbly. Ooh. There's a bird. Oh my gosh, guys. Okay. Let me show you my porch. I can't go out there. But there's this bird. Do you see it? Do you see it like attacking the window? I have my phone turned around backwards, so like, okay, you see it, the bird. Okay. Apparently there's a nest up there. And the reason I found out about the nest is a very sad story that involves the death of birds. So, if you don't want to hear about the death of birds, fast forward a minute or two. Last week was my most depressed week. It was really sad. Like, laying in bed all day, watching videos of my nephews and my niece, crying. That kind of sad. And my neighbor in the evening knocked on my door. It was actually her daughter. So she's, you know, like a little 12-year-old girl. And she says, the bird nest on your porch fell and the baby birds fell out. And I said, oh, do you want to save them? And she goes, no, they're already dead. I'm just like, oh, okay. I didn't even know there was a bird's nest because you can't see it. It's like up above this column, tucked back. I knew that this bird kept coming and like touching my window. And I honestly thought that maybe someone who used to live here fed the bird. So I go out and look at my porch, and there is 5 or 6 dead baby birds on my porch. Some of them very large. Some of them like probably within a week or so of being able to be a normal bird, you know, a full-fledged adult bird. I was out there at first. I didn't see any of them moving. I thought they were all dead. Then one of them started moving, and this was the one that was closest to the edge, and it fell off the porch in front of me. I call my sister. She doesn't answer. Call my brother-in-law. I'm freaking out. What do I do? He can't come over. We're freaking quarantined. Normally, I think I probably would have forced someone to come over and deal with it because it was really disturbing to me. But, you know, I have to be a full adult. So I go out there and I have to remove the dead birds. When you're really depressed and then a bunch of dead birds, well, a bunch of baby birds die on your porch, it's not good. And I know there's more babies up there, and all I can do is hope that they're fine. I think perhaps there was too many babies in there. I think maybe one of the big birds who was getting close to, being an adult bird was starting to move. Not a good time. So, yeah, that happened. What a day. Luckily, it's been nice and sunny. And me and Loli have just been relaxing. Lola's been sunbathing. I gave her a bath the other week. How did you feel about that, Lola? Do you still love me? You do? Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you. I was worried. Lola still loves me. But yeah. Luckily, we have this walking trail that you can see back here. So yeah, that's how I've been doing. I've not been perfect. I have been doing what I feel is needed for me. And yeah, the only room in my house right now is clean is my kitchen. Every other room, not so clean. Some of these people like productively cleaning and organizing their house. Hasn't been me. I haven't even like moved in any more boxes. I've just stopped. I've stopped. So again, hopefully my mood improves and I can start feeling capable of doing things and wanting to do them. But yeah, that's where I've been. How have you been? How have you been handling it? What does your daily life look like on quarantine? Mine is not sleeping, finally falling asleep around 3, waking up around 8, sometimes getting ready, sometimes not. A lot of Zoom meetings, a lot of responding to student work, a lot of social media. Let me tell you, the guys still want to date. And I keep telling them, we're not allowed to date right now. But anyways, thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.